Yes, you are a good fire truck. Whoa, shit.
I have the biggest Shein haul I have ever done.
All of this is for our trip to Mexico in 3 weeks, so I hope I love all of it. I perfume from Shein so you don't have to accidentally turn my entire personality tray into shopping from Shein.
I have a massive Shein haul.
Children's products contain high levels of carcinogenic and toxic chemicals.
Never in the history of fashion and the internet has there been a topic so ruthlessly stripped mined for content like the massive issues with Shein, its business practices, and the advent of fast fashion in general. Or more accurately, in the case of Shein, light speed fashion, because my god do these people turn around trends quickly. But while nearly everything there is to say about this comically evil corporation has already been said, including a look at their refreshingly unconventional fortune cookies.
Pieces of unfolded papers fell out. I opened one up and they all say the same thing. You are going to die in this suit.
Not sure what was going on there, but there have been some developments in the last few weeks that could be huge for fast fashion's biggest haters, like me and you. And let's be real, even if there wasn't any breaking news, unlike that green Hockney dress dupe you bought for $12, shitting on this company is never going out of style. But I digress. Before we jump into all the reasons why I stay hating on this brand, and there are many, let's take a look at the recent Shein developments over the last few weeks, starting with a lesson in something that every budding fashionista needs to be aware of. International trade law. You see, Shein's business model, like that of other cheap Chinese e-commerce retailers like Temu or TikTok Shop, is based on a decades-old trade provision in US law called a de minimis exemption, which allows packages shipped to the US worth less than $800 to avoid paying customs duties. So usually when a supplier, let's say from China, sends a bunch of product over to the US, they have to pay taxes to the US to get those goods into the country, with different tax rates depending on what the product is. But if you're Shein, or worse, a dropshipper, since you're mailing things directly from China straight to customers, the de minimis exemption means that you don't have to pay tax. God, I love saying de minimis. De minimis, de minimis, de minimis, de minimis. I don't know why we just got ASMR up in here. Okay, but you still with me? You should be taking notes, okay? There's gonna be a pop quiz at the end of class. But anyway, things for Shein and Temu were going great, with de minimis shipments increasing more than 600% from fiscal year 2015 to fiscal year 2023, with there now being 1.36 billion shipments in fiscal year 2024. That's something like 4 million packages a day entering the US. Per year, that's what, like 4 packages per person? God, we love buying stuff.
You did the most important thing. You bought something. What? You bought something with money. God, I love money so much, Morty.
Anyway, on February 1st, President Orange Man signed an executive order doing a bunch of dumb shit. But one of the more interesting things was eliminating that de minimis loophole. Of course, this caused a ton of chaos, with USPS having to pause shipments coming from China and Hong Kong while they tried to sort out the mess. Remember, there's now 4 million packages coming into the US a day, which need to be stopped and taxed, which in logistical terms is what's known as a shit show. The annoying Orange did reverse the executive order because things were just getting so out of control, with 1 million packages backed up at JFK Airport in New York alone. And if you're wondering why the leader of our government doesn't check the consequences of what he's doing before he does it, the answer is shut up, you woke DEI nerd. But still, it's clear that the goal is the ultimate elimination of de minimis, and that means our friends at Shein and Temu have to respond. Mainly this is through putting more US-based distributors in place, with Shein opening warehouses in Indiana and Washington. But in practice, this means that the price advantage that Shein had over traditional fast fashion retailers like H&M and Zara should be eliminated. Shein might, and I'm using the legal terminology here, might be totally fucking cooked. Shein had also been angling to go public for more than a year now, and while their valuation that they were targeting just 6 months ago was $60 billion, it said that they're now more in the neighborhood of $30 billion, with some Wall Street money boy analysts saying that even that might be too much. Ultimately, the end of de minimis, along with the threat of further US tariffs, is making investors think that maybe Shein's business model is not going to survive. And look, while I was hoping it was going to be Gen Z and millennials coming together to sing Kumbaya and collectively decide to stop buying Shein that was going to finally take the company out, I'll settle for international investors being the ones to pull the trigger. Shein is even having problems finding a stock exchange to actually list on. The US Securities and Exchange Commission blocked them from listing in the US, so then they tried going to London town. But even in jolly old England, they're running into backlash amid claims that the company's cotton is sourced from forced Uyghur Muslim camps in China. But hey, What's a little slavery when $5 dresses are on the menu? And besides, do you even need to know where the cotton is coming from when 95% of the clothes are plastic polyester anyway? Obviously, the title of this video notwithstanding, we are very far off from being to say that Shein is dead or that fast fashion is anywhere close to slowing down. Even though Shein's price advantage is probably cooked, they are still the pioneers of a manufacturing process that lets them get from idea to production in like 3 days, letting them exploit microtrends in a way that traditional retailers just can't. And whether people will keep buying this trendy, low quality trash if the prices are no longer ultra low is yet to be seen. And considering that we have a president who we know is selling out his office and has people in his cabinet who stand to make millions from Shein going public, it's also far from a guarantee that the worst threats to these Chinese e-commerce sites will come to pass. But if they do, and Shein is priced similarly to Zara and H&M, and your friends are still buying from them, it might be time for a heart-to-heart. But with that being said, let's take a look back at why this is like low-key the most evil company in the world, and why anyone who disagrees with me is like totally wrong. Perhaps the goofiest piece of Shein cope I see on the internet is that it's all fast fashion, so who cares? So what if I'm buying Shein? You think Walmart, Amazon, H&M, you think any of those guys are any different? Yes. Yes, I do. Actually, I know they're different. At any one time, Shein has 600,000 products available for sale on their platform, and they create 300,000 new products a year. In comparison, H&M, which is our classical conception of fast fashion, comes up with 3,500 products a year. Shein's entire business model is based around the idea that you're getting a piece of clothing, wearing it once, and then moving on as soon as the trend changes. That level of churn and overconsumption, if you want to call it that, is not even in the same stratosphere as traditional fast fashion. And it's crazy because I'm old enough to remember when fast fashion was first being sort of talked about and H&M was the big bad, and now probably H&M looks at Shein like, god damn, y'all are some evil motherfuckers. For some other examples, Zara puts out 12,000 new items a year. Uniqlo at the very least makes clothes that I consider to be good quality with simple basics that aren't meant to go out of style in 2 weeks. There's levels to this, okay? That's all I'm trying to say. Shein isn't even comparable to those guys, okay? This is ultra fast fashion. This is light speed fashion. And that doesn't mean just faster production and lower prices. It also means lower quality. And I mean nightmare fuel level lower quality. Have you ever wanted a new bikini that comes pre-stained with blood? How about clothes that smell like an open-air fish market right out of the bag? You won't even need to invest in perfume now. Okay, maybe that's too postmodern for you. How about the classic then? Just some clothes that fall apart after one wear. And to sweeten the deal, Shein is even throwing in some freebies like a dented can of beans and a vial of human blood. Honestly guys, I can't wait to do my own Shein haul. I'm hoping maybe to get like some jewelry, a box of penne pasta, ooh, and maybe like a Wayward stool sample. Frankly, if you're ordering any clothes from a company and the prevailing advice from the internet is that you should take everything out and not touch it first, then maybe the $4 miniskirt is actually more work than it's worth. I mean, I'm just throwing out ideas here. But hey, this is some free game for Shein. Y'all should start selling hazmat suits on Shein since we need them to open your packages anyway. Seriously though, clothes are like the most intimate thing we buy. It's literally what your body is in contact with for almost every hour of the day. Even if you couldn't care less about the catastrophic environmental damage that this chemical-laced plastic crap has on the planet, care about what it's doing to you. Last year, South Korean authorities tested 144 items from Shein and Temu, and the results were crazy. They found that items contain toxic substance hundreds of times over the legal limit. We're talking about cancer-causing chemicals like phthalates, and I know that's how it's pronounced because I googled it.
Phthalate. Phthalate. Phthalate.
Which can cause sperm count reduction, infertility, and even premature birth. One pair of Shein shoes had 229 times the legal limit for phthalates. They also found formaldehyde twice the allowed limit in Shein products. They found dioxane, which causes liver poisoning in Shein nail polish at 3.6 times the allowed limit, and methanol at 1.4 times the limit. Again, if you don't care about the microplastics your Shein dress is leaching into the ocean every time you put it through the washing machine because it has the same chemical composition as a hefty bag, then that's fine. That's cool. Listen, I thought Finding Nemo was an overrated movie too. It didn't make me want to kill all marine life, but hey, you do you. But I mean, this stuff might be killing you too. And I just refuse to believe that any rational person, if presented with what the trade-offs are, would actually choose to make this choice. And since I can already hear the comment section, let me preemptively address another piece of Shein apologia, which is that what if it's all I can afford? That hey, if you have a problem with me buying all this fast fashion, then check your privilege, because I'm a salt of the earth, humble, working class, and I'm doing my best. And if that is you, then respect. I didn't mean nothing by it, and I'm gonna move on. Those consumers are out there and do exist, and I respect that. But let's be clear, those are not the people propping up this evil empire. The people who keep Shein in business are their average customer, which is a 35-year-old woman who makes $65,000 a year and spends $1,200 a year on clothes. The average Shein shopper spends 60% more on clothes a year than the average American does. So it's not cash-strapped families of 4 that are Shein's customers. It's young, TikTok native, millennials and Gen Z who are spending big on orders. And it totally makes sense. I mean, $100 will get you 2 items somewhere else, and Shein you can get a whole new wardrobe for $100. Or better yet, you can spend $54 on clothes and spend $46 on this Shein coffin that we can put you in when you succumb to the dioxane in your nail polish. That was a joke, okay? Just so we're all on the same page, that was a joke. But you can actually buy a Shein coffin, which at that point, guys, I mean, just leave my body in an empty field somewhere. It's fine. But the point is, the people funding and fueling this nightmare could choose to do better, and they just choose not to. There's one defense that I'm receptive to. It's that the level of choice Shein provides has its positives when it comes to plus sizes and inclusivity. There's literally something for everyone, and we can't say that about traditional brands. I hear that, but to me that's more of a criticism that should be leveled at those brands, rather than used as a defense of Shein or ultra fast fashion. At the end of the day, if your business can only exist thanks to the perfect mixture of tax loopholes, ecological destruction, and forced labor, then your business doesn't deserve to exist. This is a company that doesn't even pretend to see its customers or workers as people, but rather as economic units. Go on Shein and you are immediately bombarded with colorful pop-ups, coupons, and special offers encouraging you to buy. I mean, this shit is set up like a sports betting app. Shein workers work for 75 hours a week, often 7 days a week, with 1 day off per month. They send obscene amounts of clothes to influencers and TikTokers to get that sweet haul content out into the world. And when people questioned their business practices or working conditions, they brought those influencers over to China for the most hilarious propaganda shoot I've ever seen in my life.
Shein paid a small group of influencers to go to China to tour a very carefully selected few of their 6,000 factories. This whole trip was Shein's attempt to convince customers that the countless independent reports of worker exploitation, child labor, and dangerous work conditions were just made up.
Oh, but that one lady who literally goes, oh, I mean, they said it was a sweatshop, but no one's even sweating.
Everybody was just working like normal, like chill, sitting down. They weren't even sweating. We were the ones sweating walking through the whole facility.
We were the ones sweating the whole time. I mean, it's so good. It's so good, guys.
I don't know why everyone's always hating on this place. Everything looks so clean. It's not even sweaty in here. Why do they even say that this is a sweatshop? It's so weird.
Most American thing I've ever heard. Like, I went to the Chinese sweatshop, got on a plane, and the workers weren't even sweating honey. Can you believe it? All right, let's wrap this up though. I think what gets me all ginned up, ready to throw hands about Shein is not that it exists, but that there's a market for it. Like cruise ships or the Costco guys. What really rustles my jimmies about this brand is what it says about us as a society. Shein is like the Black Mirror of fashion, and if I look at it for too long, I don't like what I see in the reflection. I really dislike using the term overconsumption because I think it addresses the buying that people do without talking about the psychology of why we do it. We've all done retail therapy before, right? You had a bad day, you taking one down, sing a sad song just to turn it around. Okay, no, but listen, still you have a bad day, you want to treat yourself, so you go out and you buy yourself something nice. What that something is doesn't matter. Or maybe you're scrolling mindlessly on TikTok at work, you get a TikTok shop ad, and you think to yourself, you know what, maybe I do need a t-shirt of Doodle Bob holding a buzz ball. I'm gonna get that. I've been working hard this week. And the end result of this is a generation of consumers who see their ability to buy the latest trend, to be in, as part of their identity. And what that really boils down to is insecurity. because if you were confident in who you were, you'd be able to buy clothes that you'd wear for months and years, rather than worrying about if you're in. Essentially what I'm saying is chase style, not a trend. Have a personality. Think of yourself as a brand if you want, and find what works and stick to it. And yes, your style will change as you grow and get older, or your interests change, but you know what? At least it's you who's changing, and not the trend cycle, which moves way quicker. I mean, these fuckers literally have AI bots, which track what's trending on social media, identify popular items, and then immediately send them to the factory to be knocked off. We are being bombarded with algorithms tracking and feeding us 24/7 advertising, and AI bots that literally know what we want before we know we want it. Our caveman and cavewoman monkey brains are never gonna win this game, so the only solution is to not play. And yes, I know that all clothing and low-key all consumer goods are going down in quality, but that's a topic for another time. I know I'm gonna get dragged for this one from start to finish, but that's alright, I'm cool with that. So let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, subscribe. Oh, follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram for more vibes. And if you still support Shein, please use my affiliate code, marcinsco15 for 69% off.